This is the story of a season to remember for Middlesbrough Football Club. In his very first season in charge, manager Lenny Lawrence celebrated one of the club's most successful campaigns ever. It ended in high drama as Borough secured a place in the new Premier League in nail-biting fashion on the final Saturday at Molineux. Trailing 1-0 and down to 10 men, it needed a brave second-half fight-back to land the second division's all-important runners-up prize. A thrilling conclusion had provided a happy ending to a season of great excitement at Ayresome Park. 2 memorable cup runs had raised expectations for a glorious finale. In this official club video, we'll be reliving the magic moments from an action-packed season, enjoying once again the goals and the classic games from both the league and the cup competitions. The big kick-off came at Ayresome Park against Millwall, the side managed by former Borough boss Bruce Rioch. A winning start for new manager Lenny Lawrence was followed 4 days later by defeat at the baseball ground, where Andy Coman gave Derby County the lead on the hour. Six minutes later, a glorious finish from Mick Harford completed a 2-0 win for one of the sides destined to push Borough all the way in the race to join the Premier League. Next came a tough encounter with the side set to top the season's first league table.
Oh, it's there! A great goal! Oh, it's a great goal by Goddard! Faulkner working it with Mustoe. Wilkinson. Even trying to get something. Oh, Wilkinson's there, and Wilkinson scores!
Paul Wilkinson had scored his first goal since his summer signing from Watford. But 2 defeats out of 3 hadn't been the start expected of a side with promotion ambitions. A storming sequence in Borough's next 6 matches would remedy that situation, starting with the best possible tonic against rivals Newcastle.
That was really well won by Robbie Mustoe, and Wilkinson has looped that ball down for Hendry to give chase, so he'll just about keep it in as well. Hendry support, Gary Parkinson coming up here, chance for Parkinson now, whips it across the face of that Newcastle goal. Good effort from Parkinson. So the free kick hoisted down the left, and here's Paul Wilkinson inside that Newcastle area. 1-0, Paul Wilkinson. Excellent strike, perfect positioning, and perfectly finished off by Wilkinson. So Middlesbrough coming down the left this time, and Ripley, there's nobody quicker than him. It needs a good cross in. It was a good ball, just eluded Hendry. And Hendry's still here, might get another chance. A second bite at the cherry. Oh, super stop by Srinicek, flipped over the top. A really good save from the Czech. So this is Hendry now, strong on the ball as always, and elusive as well. He's got support in the middle if he can cut it across. That's a good ball, the shot from Proctor, and Proctor's in for the follow-up as well. His first of the season, and Mark Proctor profits at the second attempt. Nice little bit of interplay here. Wilkinson switching the play out wide, looking for Ripley to get that ball across, and here's the header down, and a simple goal for Willie Faulkner. And Srinicek all at sea with that one, and Faulkner punishes him. 3-0 Borough.
Borough too strong in every department for their north-east rivals, and not surprisingly confidence was high for the home encounter with Portsmouth, managed by former Newcastle boss Jim Smith.
It's a fine run by Parkinson, and a good deep cross as well, and a good build-up this one again by Middlesbrough. Hendry denied by Knight's boot, so close. And now from Ripley, the ball transferred by the substitute Slaven, and Bernie Slaven takes up a good, intelligent position. The ball's going to come back to him off Beresford. He get the second chance to cross it in, and here a chance at the back post for Faulkner. And for the second match in succession, it's Willie Faulkner. The longer ball this time aimed by John Beresford down the middle, and here's a chance for Aspinall, the substitute. Pears had to be alert, and he was. A really good stop from the Middlesbrough keeper. Again, it's down the right that Borough come, and this is Ripley. And he's got time and he's got space, and there are men in the middle waiting for the cross. It has to be a good one. Slaven, perfection!
After missing the start of the season with a hamstring injury, Bernie Slaven had made a triumphant return. It wasn't enough to earn him a place in the starting lineup at Oxford, but that didn't stop Borough's super sub once again making his presence count. 3 minutes from time, and marked in the 6-yard box, Slaven broke the deadlock. In the dying seconds, his third goal in 2 games wrapped up the points when he broke free down the middle. Oxford would still find time for a late consolation, but Slaven had fired Borough to the top of the table. Two summer signings from Watford had played a key role in Middlesbrough's early surge to the top, and both men would underline that fact on their return to Vicarage Road. Paul Wilkinson, destined for his best season in front of goal, opened the scoring against his former club midway through the first half. 10 minutes later, his former Watford teammate Willie Falconer made it 2-0, and that was 3 goals apiece in their first 7 matches for Borough's new boys. Joe McLaughlin would give Watford a late consolation. Nonetheless, table-topping Borough had made it 4 straight wins. The stage was set for a crunch encounter with second-place Leicester City. Brian Little's informed side arrived at Ayresome Park with a proud unbeaten record and with 2 games in hand.
That's a good long throw from James, and the first chance of the game really from Leicester City's point of view, and Pears getting down well. He had to do. So this is Slaven for Middlesbrough. They've sought for a goal for over 70 minutes. None has been forthcoming. What about now as Ripley crosses it deep? A good chance here, and Slaven's in on it! And at long last, the defence has been breached. 1-0 to Borough, Bernie Slaven. So Phillips will leave it for Ripley this time, and swinging it in round about the penalty spot, and Wilkinson's risen above the keeper. Disappointing goalkeeping from Poole, and Wilkinson makes it 2-0, and Borough surely home now. Well, they're really on song now, Borough, and again Ripley the tormentor here as he's twisting and turning and swinging that ball over. Wilkinson at the back post. Has it crossed the line? It has. 3-0, Wilkinson's second.
The season was only 1 month old, but Borough had opened up a 5-point lead at the top. Next on stage were Tranmere Rovers. Like Leicester City, the Merseysiders arrived defending an unbeaten record. And like the men from Filbert Street, they couldn't dent Borough's perfect home record. It was a run that couldn't go on forever, but it came to an end against a Plymouth side beaten in their 3 previous matches. The upset began when Adrian Burrows gave the home side the lead to crown an impressive first-half display. Argyle could have made it 2-0 when Martin Barlow failed to convert a penalty soon after the break. But Borough came storming back to claim the point they fully deserved. The equaliser that always looked on the cards was served up by Slaven, and Paul Wilkinson applied the finish. His 6th goal of the season, keeping Borough 5 points clear at the top of the 2nd division. Round 2 of the Rumbelows Cup had landed Lenny Lawrence's men with a 2-legged tie with Bournemouth. What would turn out to be a classic cup run didn't look too promising until Paul Wilkinson finally broke the deadlock 10 minutes from time. And even then, Wembley must have seemed a long way off when Bournemouth snatched a well-earned reply in the dying seconds. Substitute Lawrence leaving Borough with plenty to do in the second leg. Four days later, it was back to league duty, and a crowd of just under 20,000 was at Ayresome Park for the showdown with Sunderland. It produced one of the fastest goals of the season.
So what an atmosphere in Ayresome Park for the derby game. Teesside against Wearside. And straight away that ball is going to be transferred back. Oh, what a ghastly mistake in the present. A goal for Slaven in no more than 17 seconds. Unbelievable. Looped over the top by Phillips for Ripley. He wriggles his way inside and avoids the second challenge, and Ripley threads the ball through. Slaven, could have been two, will surely be two now. 2-0 for Borough. What a great start. Wilkinson. This is John Kay driving forward for Sunderland now. Here's Davenport. Oh, on the turn, and a good stop from Pears. Pears clearance, won by Bennett. Then Proctor gets a little nudge in the back. It doesn't seem to matter. Rush has played it through. Armstrong now. And Armstrong to Davenport, who might have a crack. He does. So he's unlucky. Should have scored against his old team there. That ball played down towards John Hendry, who tussled for it with Hardiman, and they're still tussling and still going on. And the referee, Robbie Hart, is going to intervene here. Well, the Sunderland left-back, Paul Hardiman, and John Hendry in a bit of an altercation. There didn't really look to be a lot of harm done. Just one of those incidents where they got in each other's way a little bit. But referee Hart is going to take action, and it's a red card for both of them. So just 18 minutes left, still 2-0, Borough in the lead. Here's a good flick on though, and Brady has taken up a really good position. Here's a chance, beautifully done, gloriously struck by Kieran Brady.
At Twerton Park, Borough are up against a rock-bottom Bristol Rovers side without a manager, following the sacking of Martin Dobson. It looks like being plain sailing with an own goal by Yates gives Borough the lead. The Rovers are handed a lifeline, and Stuart Ripley is sent off midway through the second half. 7 minutes later, Rovers cash in with the equaliser when Rees supplies the finish. Then, in the dying minutes, 10-man Borough are left empty-handed, and Jeff Twentyman fires home Rovers' winner. With second-place Ipswich Town continuing their winning run, Borough's lead at the top has been cut to a mere 2 points. Meanwhile, in the Rumbelows Cup, it's part 2 of the second-round tie with Bournemouth. It was almost a repeat of the first leg. Borough once again taking the lead, this time John Hendry making the breakthrough much earlier, his opening strike coming in the 23rd minute. Just as they'd done in the first encounter, Bournemouth hit back with a late equaliser. Quinn, the home side's hero. That sent the tie into extra time, and the penalty shootout was just 3 minutes away when Rowland brought down Hendry. Up stepped Gary Parkinson, and the Borough fullback made no mistake to book a place in round 3. High-flying Wolves arrive at Ayresome Park with the best away record in the second division. The outcome is a goalless draw and the end of Borough's 100% home record.
This is Pollock. The one is going to fall handily for Wilkinson. Oh dear, missed his kick completely. Ripley's corner then. Middlesbrough still looking for a way through this Wolves defence, which is standing firm so far. Oh, cracking save from Stowell. And still they come, still they look for this first goal. The ball is good across the area. Slaven came to him too quickly. Ripley again has showed some neat footwork, and there's a good example of it. The ball in for Wilkinson, inches over. Wolves competing for everything as they do again now, but the ball falling for Ripley, and he's turning it on. Wilkinson shot. Oh, Stowell superb.
Nonetheless, Lenny Lawrence's men are still in pole position. A look at the league table confirms that Borough remain 2 points clear at the top, but all the chasing clubs have games in hand. With injuries and suspensions beginning to take their toll, Lenny Lawrence brings in Brian Marwood on loan from Sheffield United for the trip to Grimsby. But Borough are beaten by a late goal from Neil Woods, and that means they've collected just 1 point from a disappointing run of 3 matches. It takes a ZDS Cup thriller against Derby County to get Borough back on the right track.
It's a good ball in from McMinn, giving Gary Micklewhite the chance, and on the left foot, Micklewhite gives Derby the lead. So again, danger on the edge of this Middlesbrough penalty area, and Micklewhite thumps in the shot. Pears can't hold it. Well, he did at the second attempt. Bernie Slaven going to run it all the way back, and he's run it too far back. Oh, dearie me, what a scary moment for Slaven and for Borough. Fair's clearance, nodded on by Wilkinson. He'll get it back again. He might even try his luck from here. Oh, it's a superb effort. So unlucky there, Wilkinson. Still 2-0 Derby County then. Middlesbrough needs something now, and here's a promising ball in, and here's Paul Wilkinson. He's found the net. It's in the corner, and Middlesbrough have got one back. Just 3 minutes left for Middlesbrough to try and take the game into extra time. That was Kernaghan going for it there. The ball kept in. They've done well to keep that ball in play, and Wilkinson right is there again. His 10th of the season. 2-2 now. So here from the free kick situation, they look to the trusty boot of Phillips. What a rocket! Jimmy Phillips, and Borough in front for the first time. As good a free kick as you'll ever see. Well, unless you're a Derby County fan, you won't mind seeing this goal over and over again. So sweetly struck. So 3-2, Derby coming again. Kernaghan's header out. Always the danger that Borough might get another on the break, and Slaven sets off from the halfway line. He'll be pursued all the way. Trod on the ball almost. He's still got the chance. Slaven, and that's good enough surely now. Slaven's goal, 4-2.
With a header. Alan Kernaghan putting Borough one up. 25 minutes gone. The corner coming from Brian Marwood. The ball flicked back to Kernaghan. Make it Middlesbrough 1, Port Vale 0.
Just 2 minutes of the first half left. Borough still on the edge of that Barnsley area. Ball with Phillips. He's going to get a second chance as well. Keeping it in play, and Barnsley on the back foot once more. This time Phillips will find Wilkinson, and Wilkinson rises and scores. A typical Paul Wilkinson effort. 2 minutes from half-time, and Borough are in front. Wilkinson planted the header firmly past Lee Butler, and he really is a striker in top form. Paul Wilkinson, 1-0 Borough.
So another clean sheet for Steve Pears as Borough go through to the last 16. Barnsley, the 8th team of the season, unable to get on the score sheet at Ayresome Park. The home encounter with Southend is the 4th in just 12 days for Middlesbrough. An expensive time for the regulars. It's also the start of a costly run of points dropped.
Oh, and I think that one just clipped the upright. Bravely put in by Jamie Pollock. He really put his head down into that one. And here's Slaven, a good chance, and the save effected, but really Slaven might well have done a little better. Answer's corner, swinging in, danger here, and the ball's gone through, and Brett Angel claims it. Goal number 8 for Angel. Phillips with the free kick. Launching himself into it there was Ripley, and again Slaven can't quite finish it off. Nor could Wilkinson. Oh, that's Wilkinson trying to cut it back, and Cornwell eventually getting it away. Only as far as Hendry, who's brought down, and that is a penalty. They'll surround the referee, but no question at all, a penalty kick. And Parkinson, oh, a save from Santovic, struck his ankle. The corner Middlesbrough still seeking this first goal. It's just not going in for them, and Slaven couldn't swing on it. So here is Ripley. Still Middlesbrough trailing by that 1-0, but here's Ripley creating space for himself. Can he finish it? Oh, he can! Superbly struck, and that's a beautiful goal from Stuart Ripley, his first of the season. Phillips getting himself in a bit of a tangle, and Ansah might take it away from him, and that's a really brave save by Pears. Ripley swinging that one across, and Wilkinson nodding it down, and Slaven on the turn couldn't beat Sansom. Still 1-1, and Ansah slips his marker this time and whips the ball across, and there's danger here for the Borough goal. A great chance for Tilson. Superb stop by Pears.
The trip to Oakwell arrives just 7 days after Borough had knocked Barnsley out of the Rumbelows Cup. Not the ideal place to spend Guy Fawkes night, and the damage is done before half-time. Bramall puts the home side ahead, and 2 minutes later it's 2-0 to Barnsley. Taggart the goal scorer. Bernie Slaven sparks a second-half fight back with his first league goal for nearly 6 weeks. But Borough's reign at the top is just about over after collecting only 5 points from a possible 18. It's also goodbye to skipper Tony Mowbray. He's off to Glasgow Celtic for £1 million. At the Goldstone ground, Middlesbrough again find themselves chasing the points after conceding the opening goal. Brighton lifted by a terrific strike from their new signing, Mark Gall. The Seagulls had taken the lead inside the first 10 minutes, and once again it was the second half before Borough got on the score sheet. The persistent fight back finally paying dividends 18 minutes from time. It took a hotly disputed penalty, referee Paul Durkin spotting a handball incident. The home side didn't agree, but Bernie Slaven settled the argument with his first kick of the game, just seconds after coming on as substitute. While results away from home have done little to boost Borough's promotion hopes, consistency at Ayresome Park has given manager Lenny Lawrence no problems, and the good work is set to continue, starting against the boss's former club Charlton.
Well, the crowd are really making themselves heard here as Middlesbrough come hunting for that elusive goal again. This is Phillips. Hendry now. Plenty of men in the middle if he can deliver a good cross. He has! And it's Nicky Mohan, and a first ever league goal for Mohan. Hendry. Well, he created a good goal for Mohan. Let's see what he can do this time. Seems to be surrounded by the blue shirts, but he slipped that one through nicely. Here's Paul Wilkinson across, and a total miskick. It might still open the way for Bernie Slaven. 2-0. Slaven's the man again. Lenny Lawrence's old side still seeking the breakthrough against his present one as Peake floats this free kick in, and it's going to come to Liebert at the back post, and Pears showed terrific anticipation to make the stop.
Middlesbrough's record signing Andy Payton makes his debut against Bristol City. It takes him just 3 minutes to make his mark.
So Bristol City struggling to get the ball away at the moment. Picked up here by Fleming, who's doing some good covering and coming across there, and lays a lovely ball for Andy Payton through on his own. Could mark his debut with a goal in the first 3 minutes. What a dream start for the signing from Hull City. Andy Payton in 3 minutes has got the goal. Scott, neat work by him. Bristol City an attractive, fluent side, and Jimmy Lumsden has got a side that puts things together well, and Andy May did there, but that's a fine stop by Pears. Kernigan's free kick, driven towards the edge of that Bristol City penalty area, where it's knocked straight up in the air, and again by Shelton. But Ripley still trying to produce something here. Wilkinson with the header, not a lot of strength in it, but it's gone through, and Slaven has scored a typical Bernie Slaven goal. May, very much the creative player in this Bristol City side, and he's got Terry Connor moving down that right touchline, and Connor eluding his marker and whipping that ball across. So it's a fine stop from Shelton. The danger's still here. Shelton tussling for it again. Clearance picked up by May. Shelton couldn't win it. Terry Connor now. And there's a finely played ball for May, and a precise cross from him, and they're in trouble, and that ball surely has crossed the line. And that's a goal for Bristol City from Bob Taylor. Osman couldn't find his man. He found Jimmy Phillips instead, and it's given Borough the chance to break here with Ripley. He just loves taking them on, and he's inside that penalty area. Very unlucky indeed, Ripley. Still the chance there. Wilkinson and threads it through, and this might well be a third. Well, that's the second time they've hit the crossbar. Slaven turning on it, and still it will not go in. Ripley's corner then. Borough 2-1 in the lead, and here's Slaven, looks to make it 3, and his second goal from no more than 3 or 4 yards out.
While Bernie Slaven's second double of the season has given him 5 goals in 4 games, it's been a frustrating start for Andy Payton. He scored in his debut against Bristol, but misses the next 4 matches with an ankle injury. A sequence that begins with Borough's first home defeat of the season, Tranmere landing the only goal of the game in round 3 of the ZDS Cup. Another new signing, Andy Peake makes his debut in the promotion clash with Blackburn Rovers. And first blood goes to Middlesbrough, and a foul on Stuart Ripley earns a penalty 2 minutes before half-time. Bernie Slaven sends Bobby Mims the wrong way to make it 1-0. With the lead last little more than 60 seconds. Fleming conceding the spot kick at the other end with a foul on Wright. Mike Newell levels to complete a dramatic end to the first half. The winner comes 13 minutes from time, and it goes to the home side, served up by a corner from Cowans. Borough condemned to another away defeat by the final strike from Mark Atkins, a result that moves Kenny Dalglish's side into the top 4 and leaves Middlesbrough 1 point behind leaders Cambridge. The first of the season's cup showdowns with first division opposition comes in round 4 of the Rumbelows Cup. There's a special atmosphere at Ayresome Park for the tie with Manchester City, which almost came to a premature end when thick fog descended minutes after the kick-off.
No goals, but no shortage of incident as Phillips swings this one in, and Kernigan rose well, and that may well have clipped the outside of the upright. Alan Kernigan, so dangerous from these set pieces. He rises well, and I think when we see this replay, we'll spot that that ball did just flick the outside of the upright. It did. So City trying to press forward again, but Middlesbrough, that red line has held strong in midfield throughout, and here they come forward again. Ripley couldn't control it. Still no joy for City. There could be for Borough on the break this time. Here's Wilkinson, the perfect ball inside, and that's a goal to 0. And Middlesbrough have taken the lead, and that was beautifully done. It's Robbie Mustoe. Well, Wilkinson lays on the perfect pass here. Mustoe tipping it past Tony Coton. 1-0 to Borough. And Wilkinson will be delighted with his contribution. He could have gone it alone. And Robbie Mustoe getting into the perfect position. Referee Burns has awarded this free kick to Borough. It's a precarious situation for City to be in. They can't afford to go 2 down. So it'll be taken by Ripley, and it's going to come to Kernigan at the back post. He's got time here. Kernigan whips in the shot. It's got in now from Wilkinson, and that's 2-0. Kernigan's shot diverted home by Borough's top scorer. Goal number 13 of this season for Paul Wilkinson. Kernigan taking much of the credit. It was Ripley's free kick. It was Kernigan's shot, but it's Wilkinson who always seems to pop up in the right place at the right time who scores. Wilkinson has probably picked up a little bit of the art of goal poaching from playing alongside Bernie Slaven, and here he's in the perfect position to ram the ball in from no more than 4 yards. Well, City are getting increasingly desperate now. Moments left as Pointed takes the free kick. Straight up the middle, it flicked away from the top of the defender's head. And, might still come for City, but they're still 2 down in this game. Tussling for it rather desperately, but winning very little at the moment. And Borough try to break once more. Laid back by Adrian Heath this time. But City, it's been very much an uphill struggle for them throughout this match at Ayresome Park, and it looks as though Borough are going to go through. But here comes City. One last attempt maybe, and yes, David White. It's not often he scores with his head, but David White has given City a glimmer of hope here. 3 minutes to go, and it's back to 2-1. It may be too late, but Hill's ball in, a flick of the head from White, and a few tremors now for Middlesbrough in the closing moments.
So Middlesbrough go through to the quarter-finals for the first time in 16 years. A season of great promise is already fulfilling expectations. But the real target, of course, is winning a place in the Premier League.
7 minutes of the half left, a chance maybe for Wilkinson now, and just when they wanted a goal, he's the man to provide it. Swindon still looking to get back in this side. Glenn Hoddle has certainly formed them into a very good unit indeed, but now the break is on, and Borough with Slaven on that famed left foot of his. Oh yes, that's a glorious strike from Bernie Slaven. They love him here at Ayresome Park, and that's why. Well, Swindon still giving it all they've got, but they're 2 down in this game. They've not really created enough for their front men, but maybe something here now. Fitzroy Simpson will try one with the left foot. What a scorching shot from Simpson. He doesn't score many, Fitzroy Simpson, but when he does, they're spectacular. So Borough, ironically, having been 2 in front to left, hanging on a bit now as Simpson squares it. Shearer couldn't get to it. Still the chance is there. Borough on the back foot. Shearer's header, and that's 2-2, and they've clawed their way back level.
Letting slip a 2-goal lead denies Borough a return to the top of the table. And freezing weather conditions will mean a 3-week wait before the next match, the Boxing Day showdown with Newcastle. A bumper holiday crowd of well over 26,000 packing St James's Park.
There's plenty of confidence about Borough at the moment as Jimmy Phillips sweeps that ball across, and the chance now from Wilkinson. Slaven should score! Well, he usually does from that situation. Still Borough looking for the goal that would give them a double over their old rivals, and here Tommy Wright has to stretch to make the save. Straight up in the air from Fleming, but Proctor tries to bring some semblance of order to the midfield. Fleming's ball again here, and that's got Wilkinson going through, and a fine save again from Tommy Wright. Newcastle haven't had many chances. They're tussling for it on the edge of that Middlesbrough penalty area again. Now the long ball from Fleming, and this might well catch them out. Where was the Newcastle defence? And Paul Wilkinson must surely get the first of the game. Borough 1, Newcastle 0, and predictably it's Paul Wilkinson. Is this to be Newcastle's way back in? They trail 1-0, then the free kick coming across towards Hunt. He should have scored.
Borough's first away win in the league in more than 3.5 months means a return to joint top spot alongside leaders Cambridge and Blackburn. But the final match of 1991 turned out to be a real nightmare. Once Guy Whittingham made an early breakthrough, it was always a one-horse race. Warren Neal, who'd set the first goal in motion, was once again the architect of goal number 2. Darryl Powell applying the finish at the far post. It was all over as a contest 6 minutes before half-time when Pearce pulled down Darren Anderton. John Beresford made it 3-0 from the penalty spot, and Borough were heading for their heaviest defeat of the season. A 25-yard special for Martin Cool, his first goal of the season, completed the misery for Borough. Nonetheless, results elsewhere meant there was no real damage done in the race to join the Premier League. At the halfway mark, Lenny Lawrence's men were still handily placed in 4th position. Only goal difference separating them from top spot, with Blackburn, Cambridge, Ipswich and Borough all on 41 points. Even Portsmouth in 7th place were only 2 points off the lead. On New Year's Day, it was back to Ayresome Park for a showdown with promotion rivals Derby County.
Middlesbrough scored so often from set pieces this season, and they're looking for one now. Slaven got a little touch, but Mohan is claiming it, and that's his 2nd of the season. Nicky Mohan. Derby and McMinn pointing the way here, although Parkinson was in the way. McMinn gets a second chance, and he's continued a good run this by the Scot, McMinn. Danger here to the Borough goal as McMinn tries to set someone up, and here's Martin Chalk. A marvellous moment, his first ever goal.
The 3rd round of the FA Cup pairs Borough with a rematch with First Division Manchester City. Victory over the men from Main Road has already secured a place in the last 8 of the Rumbelows Cup. A crowd of 21,000 will witness another gripping cup tie.
And it's City's turn to come forward now. They'll probably look for the head of Niall Quinn. They find his foot instead. His right boot and volleyed over the top. Well, they really are old adversaries, these. It's the 2nd time they've met this season, of course, and it's Borough sweeping forward this time. That's a lovely ball to Slaven in some space. He turns and checks inside that penalty area. Looks to work it on his favoured left foot, and then the save made look simple by Coton. Again, Quinn is there. He leads the line so well for City. It's Poynton who swings it over this time, and Quinn at the end of it, and Peter Reid has volleyed a goal for City, and the boss has done it all himself. Pairs with the long drop out this time. Going towards Ripley, but Keith Curle was in the way there. It comes down again for Ripley, and Stuart Ripley inside that penalty area whips the shot wide of the left-hand upright. And referee Reid has given the corner, so presumably Coton got the finest of touches. But Stuart Ripley really did well to get in a shot at all there. He was hemmed in, it would appear, inside that Manchester City penalty area. But Ripley still forced the save out of Coton as Middlesbrough come looking for this equaliser, and they have a corner kick. So plenty of excitement again at Ayresome Park. These two sides always seem to produce drama. And it's Middlesbrough's corner kick. Swung in with the left boot, and up they all go, and the ball coming down towards Poynton and nudged through by Wilkinson and Slaven, and Ripley has turned it through, but there are protests, and referee Reid says it's no goal. From McMahon this time. Poynton. Quinn on the chest. He really does do that superbly. Oh, and Pez had to make the stop. Great save. Still Borough trail by a goal to nil, and Jimmy Phillips always swings these in with his left foot, and they do create mayhem sometimes in that penalty area, and Wilkinson holds his head in his hands. Another Borough corner. What can Phillips do this time? Kernigan rises and scores. Alan Kernigan. A dramatic equaliser for Middlesbrough, and it's Alan Kernigan again. He does it so often, and he's done it beautifully this time, rising against the static defence and leaving Coton bewildered. So what an atmosphere here now. It's a quite frenzied finish we're in for, I'm sure, as Curle heads the ball away. Knocked forward again into the space. Here's the substitute, Andy Payton. Curle's knocked it down, and Wilkinson has pounced to give Borough their 2nd in 2 minutes. Oh, it looks as though Middlesbrough might well be snatching victory here. Andy Payton had tussled for it under the challenge from Keith Curle, and Paul Wilkinson rifles what should be a winner. So Middlesbrough look like beating the old foe Manchester City once more as Payton gets around the back of Redmond. He can really lay on number 3 here. Surely now Ripley. No, off the inside of the upright. That would have finished it.
Another glorious cup triumph executed by Paul Wilkinson, this time in the most dramatic of circumstances. 4 days later, Middlesbrough are back on cup duty, this time with a Rumbelows Cup quarter-final tie against 3rd Division Peterborough. conquerors of mighty Liverpool. In front of London Road's biggest crowd for 6 years, only the woodwork denies Borough victory at the first attempt.
This is Hendry going to go at the left flank now. And a touch there from Slaven, and it's free for Wilkinson, a little cheeky back heel. And there's the danger of Bernie Slaven. And sometimes he may go a little bit AWOL from games, but when he turns up in that penalty area, he can be so dangerous. The break was so quick. Slaven only needed a little bit of a touch, and that was just the width of a post away, and Wilkinson couldn't capitalise there. That was a close escape for Peterborough. Slaven out wide. Hendry with a cross, and Ripley, it's hit the bar. I think it got a deflection as the shot came in, and Ripley finding the woodwork the second time that Middlesbrough have done so. On the fast break, Hendry's cross, Ripley, and it just ballooned up there and onto the bar. It's the usual ploy. Robinson the target, but it's rather overhit. Moen and Phillips between them can get it clear to Ripley. Now can Ripley use his pace? Oh, Sterling doing his bit to keep up with him, but still Ripley's going. Ripley could go all the way here. Opens it up as far as Slaven, and down, a great shot in there by Hendry, and Barber was sharp to deal with that one, but an impressive build-up back by Middlesbrough. Jimmy Phillips to deliver. Kernahan on the near post, gets a flick to it. That one came back off the bar. And another narrow escape that. Wilkinson was in there. I might have to have a closer look at that one as Phillips bangs the ball away. That was desperately close again for Peterborough though. Phillips with the corner kick in towards the near post, the touch on there. And yes, it came back off the bar from Wilkinson. That's the third time Middlesbrough have found the woodwork.
After 2 gruelling cup ties in 4 days, comes a crucial promotion battle with second-placed Ipswich Town. Borough's interest in 3 competitions would continue, despite erratic away form that was always likely to strike at any time. John McGinley's opening goal at the Den to the cue for another setback. Any doubts about the final outcome ended 5 minutes from time when Alex Rae secured a home win. Another cold snap will force another 3 weeks of inactivity, but Borough suffered no ill effects in their long-awaited FA Cup clash with Sheffield Wednesday. The 4th round tie at Hillsborough was the stage for yet another memorable cup drama.
1-0 Sheffield Wednesday. Well, now he has got 15 goals this season. Left back Jimmy Phillips supporting the attack well. He's got Musto in support here, number 6. Oh, there's Ripley. And Ripley again, and a good save by Chris Wood. Smart reactions from Ripley by the England goalkeeper. Good flick on by Wilkinson. Oh, here's Hendry with a great chance. 1-1. Well taken by John Hendry. He struck that really well, but Sheffield Wednesday's defence will be less than happy with the way they dealt with that. The Wilkinson flick seemed to make them freeze. There's the header on, and I think it's Warhurst that's in trouble there. And he gives Hendry a great chance, which he takes with great confidence. Forward by King. Williams the runner. Hooks it back well for Hurst. Here's Harps with a great chance. Oh, what a good challenge. But it's Palmer. And Hyde. Well, Middlesbrough will break here with Ripley. And there's only one man back, it's Warhurst. And still Ripley makes room for the shot. Oh, it was so close. And that's what the fans honestly want to see. Excitement first at one end, then almost instantly at the other. Offside. Trevor Francis, the player-manager on the far side, was caught there. Made his league debut as a 16-year-old with Birmingham back in the 70-71 season, did Trevor. And it's Kernaghan driving it forward for Middlesbrough.
And here's Wilkinson. Defender slipped, and Wilkinson has scored. And Middlesbrough have taken the lead. They've done what they did in the third round. Come from 1-0 down to lead 2-1. And the man who's brought the second goal to their delighted supporters is Paul Wilkinson. 20 minutes to go. The free kick taken, the flick on, and dear oh dear, is that Warhurst or Pearson there who got caught? Pearson, I think, this time. It was the captain who got caught.
So another night of triumph for Borough fans. Cup football continues to bring the best out of Lenny Lawrence's knockout specialists. Victory over Sheffield Wednesday, earning a place in the last 16 of the FA Cup for the first time in 8 years. A great boost for confidence, which kept Borough bubbling in all three competitions.
He's clear. Can he keep his head? Yes, he can. The opening goal for Middlesbrough. Sweetly done by John Hendry. And really, that's all down to a mistake in the midfield by Simon Mills, trying to take on too many when really he didn't have any support. And a good through ball from Paul Wilkinson for John Hendry, and a comfortable job for a striker, really, with just the keeper to beat. No pressure at all. Just coming up to the quarter-hour mark of the second half. Still Port Vale 0, Middlesbrough 1. As Hendry turns, makes his way towards goal. Slides it through. A chance now for Middlesbrough. Number 2 from Robbie Mustoe, the 23-year-old. A lovely finish from him, but it was set up marvellously well, and really Vale half asleep after so much good early work in the first 15 minutes of this second half. It all comes to naught, and they find themselves in deeper trouble than ever. It had been billed as an interesting clash that may well have produced some good football. As it turns out, it's been very bitty. Oh, goodness me, an own goal, would you believe it? Forward by Kernaghan. Hendry. Out wide there by Proctor. Ripley. Young Curtis is the man chasing him. He's got a bit of pace. And Barber down there. There's a little licked effort there by Robbie Mustoe. Now picking up Wilkinson. Free kick. Kernaghan rolling it out for Gary Parkinson to hit the cross. Wilkinson jumps, gets a touchdown. Off the bar by Moen, and grabbed again by Barber. The header there from Ripley. 3 times Middlesbrough hit the woodwork down at London Road in the first match, and already they found it again. Parkinson hit the cross deep. Wilkinson at the jump. Moen was up there, onto the bar, back for Ripley. Barber so quick to recover. Half an hour gone. Still, it's 0-0 in this quarter-final replay. And Middlesbrough, for all the brightness of their start, and that effort from Mickey Moen that hit the bar, really managed to put Barber under relentless pressure. Now Charlery looking to turn here, though. Charlery from Mick Halsall, and nearly crept through, and still Mike Gavin. That's a great save from Stephen Pears, and it needed to be from Gavin. They picked their way through the Middlesbrough defence then, Peterborough. Carefully worked, Halsall, and it fell for Gavin, and a smart save that from Stephen Pears. And Ripley through the middle for a change. There goes Ripley. Could he go all the way? Luke. Ripley checks. Oh, that is an absolutely marvellous goal from Stuart Ripley. He's been the threatener for Middlesbrough all night long, but he's gone and done it single-handed now. That was a marvellous goal. Ripley twisted Luke, turned, didn't really look up, knew where the goal was, and right in that far corner. It's a sensational goal. Head down that time. Completely lost Luke with that turn. Checked and drove it well wide of Barber. No chance for that one. There's a goal right out the blue.
Bobbling around on the halfway line. Portsmouth with plenty of men forward in this attack, however, as Anderton swings that ball across. Here comes Burns in with a chance, and Whittingham's going to finish it off, and Guy Whittingham gives Portsmouth the lead. Parkinson then with this free kick for Middlesbrough, floated in and kept out by Knight at full stretch. That was a good tip over. Again, it's Gary Parkinson. This one lifted towards the edge of that Portsmouth penalty area. Some confusion in there, and the equaliser struck by Alan Kernaghan with just 2 minutes to go. Portsmouth 1, Middlesbrough 1. Kernaghan is the saviour. There was the ball from Parkinson. It created confusion, and Kernaghan pounced to good effect. Well, Portsmouth then, having had the lead snatched away from them, come again with Chamberlain. He's got support here. It's got to be a good ball in. Seconds left, that's all. Here's the chance, and it's going to be Pears who can't get down to it. The ball must fall for somebody. Martin Kuehl. It trickles wide, and surely now it's going to end in a draw.